Hi friends, welcome to Tutors Funny channel. Today I am going to teach a Spring Boot application simple project, right? How to make the Spring Boot application project, right? This project I'm going to complete at the simple CRUD application with how to work with the search criteria and active user. These are the things I'm going to teach. These are the very important part I'm going to teach. You have to watch this video till then, right? Now first I'm going to make the Spring Boot application. You have right, go to the Spring initializer, right? So you type Spring initializer. So you have a right. I haven't connected the internet, right? So okay, right. Spring initializer. Spring initializer. Right. You have to go to the respective website and we have to configure our project. Right. Now here this is a Spring initializer. You have to select the languages Maven, Java. You have to get them the lowest one. 2 point this one. You are the lowest one. Here you have to give the artifact project name. We have to write Spring project. Spring application. Application. You can give any name, right? You can give Spring project whatever name, right? You have to select the version 17, right? Okay, if you are not downloaded Java 70, you have to download and install them. After this is the most important part of the Spring Boot application. We have to add the dependency, right? Dependency is a must. So first dependency you have to put it here as web. Second dependency I'm going to add as JPA, which will be deal with the SQL queries. Right after that, we have to MySQL, which is establish the database connection. All the database connection we have to add it into the MySQL driver. Right, these are the things. These are the three things we have the important part. Right, right. So after done the stuff, what you're going to do is you have to click generate. Right, my project has been generated successfully. You will be able to see. Now what I'm going to do is I just copy this one, show in folder, cut off this file, go to the G drive and paste it over here. Here I'm going to do my project, extract file, right. Now I'm going to open this project in my VS Code editor, sorry, IntelliJ IDEA. So go to the file, open. My project is reside on where? Inside the G drive, okay. Okay, so we have to go to the G drive. First, what is the name of my project? It's a Spring Boot application. Spring application. You have to get that Spring application. This one. You have to expand the folder. This is the file. Select and OK. Trust project. This window. Terminate. Right. Now you will be able to see your project will be opening. Open on the new window. You will be able to see right here. You have to wait until the dependency gets installing. Okay, this all the dependency will be download and installing. Please make sure you have to connect the internet, otherwise it won't install. Okay, it need to download from the internet, right? So here my dependency get installed successfully. Okay, right now your project is created right here. If you go to the pom.xml, here you will be able to see the all the dependency. This all the dependencies are must when you are creating the Spring Boot application, right? We have created the JPA, web, MySQL connector, right? So these are the dependency we have to need, right? Now what I'm going to do is first I'm going to the src. Inside the src we can see here the main Java. Here this is the Java package com.example.spring application. Okay, so here inside this is the main method of our Spring Boot application main method. This main method here you can see here com.example. Spring application. This is the main method where your program is running, right? Here you can see here is a basic annotation. The Spring Boot application is working based on the annotation base. Okay, if you have a service, there is annotation. If it's an entity, there is an annotation. If you add the new module, there is a configuration annotation, right? So you keep on your mind, right? Now I'm going to create the packages. So first package I'm going to create as package controller. Second package I'm going to create as entity. Third package I'm going to create, you have to create repo. Fourth package I'm going to create service, right? We have a packages, we have different packages we have created. We have created another package, we have created DTO, right? We have created the various packages. Now I'm going to go to the resources folder. Inside the resources folder, there is a file which is a application.properties. Here I'm going to configure all the database connections, right? So before that, you have to install the MySQL workbench in your machine, right? So here you have to, while installing the MySQL workbench, you have to give the username and password. This is all the database configuration part in Springboard. We have to attach in application.property file. Okay, so this is a MySQL workbench. So here, in order to connect the MySQL workbench, we have to connect using the username and password by entering the username and password, right? Then only you will be able to connect the MySQL workbench, right? So this username and password we have to given the application.properties, right? We have to configure here, right? Now here, let's do the things, right? So here you no need to write this all the things. I given this code, you just copy and paste it, because no one write this one. Okay, you just copy and paste this code. It's defaultive, you just copy and paste it. Here I have given the project name as Spring application. Whatever project name you can give here, right? According to your project, right? If it is a post system, you have to give the name as post. What's a port? You have given the port, whatever port. I have given 8070. This is the port where my server is running. Here first step, the database created. So we have to create database, right? MySQL driver, com MySQL CJ. This is a new driver attached. Okay, we already in our form.xml file, we have add the dependency of MySQL. If you are not at the MySQL dependency, you can't put this driver. Okay, you have to, before you have to add this, you have to call this line before you have to add the relevant driver. After that, you have to specify the path of the MySQL database where your MySQL database resides. The localhost server, your database server. Okay, localhost, this is a port where your MySQL workbench is running. Your database name. I'm going to give the whatever name you want. So I'm going to give the name as whatever name, right? So KMS. This is the name where my database want to create, right? After that, I'm going to create the username as root, password as 123. My user credential of the MySQL database you have to give, right? Whatever username you are given, you are giving here password. What the password you are gave, you can give here while you installing the MySQL workbench, right? After here, the default the JPA configuration you have write like this. That's a simple stuff you have write, right? Okay, this is the thing you have to configure the database connection. Now, first step, I'm going to go to create the entities. We have the table structure, right? Table schema. So here, select the package entity, right click new, Java class. Here I'm going to create the class which is a cast, whatever name. I just give as student, right? Student, we have a fields, right? So first we have to specify the annotation. If it is a entity, you have to specify the entity annotation. After that, we specify the columns and all. You have to write private int student id. After student name, private string student name. After that, student address. That address. After that, phone number. After that, we have to write mobile. After that, another field we have to write here is a active state. This is must. This one should be the int. Active state, that should be the type as a boolean. Active state. Active state. Right, that's it. These are the properties are there. Now first we have to implement the id, which is a annotation id, right, which is id. We have to generate value. Generate value. You have to write generate value. You have to write g generate type auto. Right, that's the thing you have to write. Now here there's a garage go away. Right, your generate type is auto. After that, what I'm going to do is here we have to specify the column name. When the column is created on the database, you have to create the column name is must. The column name you have to write here name equal student id. Student id comma length 50. Right. So after the student name, you have to write student name. That column you have to write the student name. Think student name. Right. The column you have to write the student name. Right. The student address you have to write this one should be the address. Address you have to write here is 70. Right. After that, the column you have the mobile. That mobile number. Right. You have to put it as a 12 length. Right. After that, we have another one is a active state. That column you have to write like this here. You have to write active state. Active state here, right here, column definition. If it's a boolean value, you write column definition. You have to write inside here, you have to write tint teeny teeny default one. That's it. That's the thing we have to write. Perfect. These are the database structure. Right? Very simple. After that, what I'm going to do is we have to create the controller. Right? The database that the values are coming via the DTO. DTO passing to the controller. Controller will be passing to the service. Service passing to the repo. Repo will be get the data access to the entities again and passing to the DTO and get the front end to the output. Right? That's how the scenario works. So first, what I'm going to get the controller class, which is a student controller. Control, right. Student controller, if you write the student controller, first you have to write the rest controller. After that, cross sojourn, which will be communicate with the front end. After that, we have to create as a request mapping. Request mapping. That right. API slash, this one should be the version student when the request is coming student. Now what I'm going to do here is, here you have the controller class, student controller class. Here we have to write the method public. You write public. You have to write string. So you have to write get data. Right now, let's check. Right. So here you have to return So write hello testing. You just type the message, right? So this is the RESTful API. Okay, so if you have the request is coming, when the users type the port and API request, we have a get mapping. You write the get mapping, right? Get mapping. You have to write the get mapping. So path equal get what? I just type get what. If the request is coming like this, I want to display this message. Right now, let's check it. So here we have to go to the new request. I just go to the new request. How the request get request localhost localhost. We have write HTTP. But this is how the postman is working, right? Localhost. The port. What is the port we are given? 8070 is the port, right? Comma, right? For API, this API slash API student version slash. You have tried this thing is here. I need a request get all. Right. If the request is coming 8070 API version student get. If the request is coming, click send button. So what's the problem? Get what, right? The request is get what, right? The get all, right? So here we have to running the project. I think we didn't run the project. Okay, let's run it, right? So when the URL is coming get all, okay, get all. So now let's send the message here, hello testing. So the message has been displayed successfully, right? So when you write it, you have to run the project. I haven't run it, that's why the output didn't display. Now the testing, right? It's working. Okay, the thing is working. So if you want to write another method, you can see it's a get mapping. This one should be get uh, just a function fact, just like this. Here I am from India. I just simple message. Here the message is coming here. Get records, right? So when you call this API, what happened now? Now let's run and check it. Application is running. Now let's test it. How the API is working now. It is tested like this. I am from India. The output has printed successfully, working perfect. Now what I'm going to do is the output working successfully. Now I'm going to go to do the thing is now. I hope you understood the things well. These are the example, very important stuff when you are learning the Spring Boot application. Okay, these are the request. Now you can get the response, right? Right. Now what I'm going to do is here I'm going to go to do the thing is you simply understand what's the API works, right? So now first I'm going to write the API which is here you have to write string save student, string save student. Here you have to write here request body, right? At request body you have to write here you have to write we have to create the DTO, right? So DTO means the record is we have saved the record via the DTO. The record is traveling, the data is traveling via the DTO. So we have to write the DTO. So we simply have to write the DTO class student save DTO. Right. What I'm going to do is DTO. Only we have to these all things we have just copied. The student properties. You have to go to the DTO. You only write here These all things we have to remove it. We don't need them. Only the we keep the things only. Okay, so we need this thing only. Right. So here what I'm going to do is here you have to implement the we have to add the properties, right? Properties mean the get and set method, all things we have to implement that. So you have to implement those stuff easily. What I'm going to do is here you have to go to the Lombok Maven. This is the dependency you have to install to get them. Right, so here is get it here. Right, you have to get it here. You have to put the relevant Lombok. Lombok, you have to get it some this one. You have to take it this one of this. I just take this one. You have to implement this Lombok. Right, this is the dependency if you install. It will be manage the get and set method. We no need to implement that. Right, you have to put this in dependencies over here. We have to we have to click on this. Now okay, all the resolving the dependency and everything. You have to wait until the process complete. Right, everything is successful. Right, perfect. Now what I'm the build successfully. Now what I'm going to do is here. What happened? The dependencies. Right, perfect. Now what I'm going to do is here we have to go to the DTO. We have to implement all the constructor. No constructor. All things we have to implement. Very simple. If we have all ARG constructor, it is coming from the long book. Okay, it's no ARG constructor. Okay, we have a data. Now we no need to implement the get and set method on. Okay, it's very simple, right? But the entity or entity class we have to implement the get and set method. Here important, right? So here we have to create the entities, generated constructor. We have to try the all the method. We have a constructor. We have a blank constructor. We have to implement the blank constructor as well. So that get and set method. After that, we have a posting method as well. Right, that's the thing you have to do it. Okay, the get and set method, all things we needed. Right, perfect. Now what I'm going to do is here, we implement all the things. Right, now what I'm going to do is here, we have a save student. We have tried the save student save DTO. You have tried to create the object save DTO. Now here, what I'm going to do is, we have tried here inside the save method. We have tried string id equal student service. Okay, you have tried because you have tried the student service, right? So you have to because we have to save the when you save the data is coming via the DTO, right? When the front end is entering the data, it's coming via the DTO. What happens is we have to create the DTO class. So we have a DTO we have already created. Now we have to create the service. Service you have tried. You have to create first you have to create service. You have to student service. Right, student service. You have to create two different things: student service and student service IMP. Student service IMPL. Yeah, right. Okay, so okay, the student service. It is not a class. Sorry, it is not a class. We have created as a class this one. This is the interface. Student service is an interface. Student service. Right. Okay, we have to create like this. Right. So now what I'm going to do is here. What I'm here you can see here. I'm going to create the now. My data is this is the flow it's working. the data is coming via the DTO. DTO is passing the data to the controller. Controller passing the data to the service. So we have created the, we have to AutoWare. You have typed AutoWare. AutoWare. You have typed AutoWare. You have typed the private. You have typed the private student service. Student service. The student service, or get the student service dot, you have to create a method here, add student. You have to write here, paste it over here, add student. Right? Add student, return ID. Right. Now what I'm going to this here, this method here, this is the process. This method we don't need to create on the service class. What happens is you click on this one here, create method add student service. You click on this one, this method will be created. Now what I'm going to do is here we only do the implementation only. We all things are do here as well. So here we have write implements keywords. You have to implement the all things is the student service, right? So here you have to do the implemented method student add student, right? Here what I'm going to do is here we have to write the implementation part, right? So we have to do the implementation part over here, right? So you have to do the implementation part, right? So what I'm going to do is here I'm going to do the implementation part. Right. So how to do the thing is now here what I'm going to do is here to student. We have to write student. We have to create this student class entity. We have to pass a record to entity. Entity of the student equal new student. Open and close bracket. Inside here you have to write student save DTO dot get student name comma student get student name address comma you have to write this one is a get student phone mobile comma you have to write get student dot is active state. That's the thing you have to write. Okay, so here we have a 4 fields. What is this error mean? Here in our entities we have to create the blank constructor, but we have to create the constructor which is a same thing like this. Save DTO get and set method. Sorry, to implement the generate constructor, get rid of this ID, other fields we need at, click OK. Right, now you have to go over here the error go away. Now what I'm going to do is I'm going to add the data into the database. So we write student add the records into the database. So we have to write here out at the records we have to add the record via the database. It is a AutoWare you have to write here AutoWare you have to write here which is a private student repo right. Here student repo haven't made the student repo, like we haven't do the student repo. I'm going to create it because you have to write the student repo you haven't created yet. That is the interface. So you have to write class student repo say interface. Now you have to create the repo public interface student repo. You have to write over here as a our JPA repository. Here we have student is an integer. After that what I'm going to do is here we have to add as a annotations, right? This is the annotation is must. Okay, enable JPA repository and REST repository. Okay, this is how here the database is working. Here we are, the query will be working here, the JPA. We have to add this class, right? So JPA, right? Perfect. Okay, so this one should be, you have to auto add here, right? You have to auto add that or import the class, right? Now you have to save the records into the database. How to save the record? You have to type this one, repo, student repo. There is a method called which is a save. Which one I am going to save? This student, right? That's the thing we have to write. After student's record is saved, what I'm going to do is I'm going to return into the student dot get student name. You have to return it here. Right. Now let's run the application. If you run the application, we have get this error. What is this error mean? Here we have get the error. There are many students who ask me the command. This error occurred. Here student service control. First you have to read the error. Error is coming where? Here student control require the bean type. Bean type mean we have to go to the student IMPL here. We haven't had the bean type mean this annotation we haven't had service, right? The method is confused, right? Now again go to the controller. We'll check here. Its error will be gone, right? So here if you are now run the application and check whether it's working fine or not. Now it's working. Now I'm going to go to the records. Here I'm going to save what's the URL is coming. I want to save the record, right? So we have to write when the URL is coming, save. Okay, save record. So save student save. Okay, we have a DTO save DTO. Here this is the record. Student name, address, mobile, active state. Right. So for student name, you have to write the student name. Right, student name. You have to write the student. You have to JSON format. You have to make sure this one is JSON format. Right. So student name, John. Right. After that, same thing. You have to copy this one and paste it below. All right. So here we have to write student address, mobile, address, India. After that, mobile. After that, you have to write it here as a active state. Active state, you have to write it here as one. Now here go to here. We enter here. We have to change this. It's not a get mapping. This is a post mapping. You have to post the data. If you post something else, we are not receiving anything else. Okay. You have to post the data. So we have to write a post mapping. Right. Okay. The post mapping. Right. You have to write a post mapping. Right. Now again, I'm going to stop and run the project. Now let's do it. Now let's check. Right now the data is at the not, right? There is no error at the moment. Now let's go and click button here. Return John. Record is added to your database successfully. Now let's check back whether the database is added or not. Right. So here we have a database here. Click on this. You have to add the data source. MySQL root. Sorry. Root password root 123 database KMS test connection apply, click OK. Now here you have to student. Here you will be able to see the data is displayed successfully. perfect. The data is displayed successfully, perfect. Right. Now you can see here the database displays successfully. It's working perfectly well. Right. Uh, Now here when you add the data, after that we have a database is created and everything. You have to make this one as an update. Right. Okay. After that you have to run it. You have a if you add the new data, it will be updated. Okay, otherwise it will be the database is recreated again by again. When you run the query, it will be recreated. The first time only you have to create the create method is work. After that you have to after create the data, you have to change it as update. That's it.